feel like this prompt is a little bit different than majority of the prompts that I do, and I had to do some counting today, which was pretty fun. I was excited to prepare for this video today. Hello friends, happy Wednesday. So very excited that you're here. It is a new month of Top 5 Wednesday. Very excited, very much looking forward to sharing my picks today because I'm talking about most owned authors. Now, when I presented this idea, this prompt to my Patreon channel members, they did seem, I'm hoping I remember right, that they did seem interested in me sharing what are my most owned authors on my shelf. Now, I did not do anything like this during my manga collection video. I sort of wish I would have done something along the lines of like, how many volumes do I own by a specific author or creator, excuse me. I feel like that would be really exciting to do it that way, but I'm not doing this Top 5 Wednesday video like this. I am doing most series by a creator. So that was my ultimate way of choosing everything. For some of these, I did sort of low-key include manga that I had by this creator, but no longer have by this creator because I'm like, well, I did at one point have that, making still that creator like the most owned author that I have in my collection. So let's go ahead and dive in. I'm going to start from the least going up to the top. I did have, I think I had another series that was tied for 3, but I am saying Sumo Ishida. Now I only have Shortcake Cake and A Sign of Affection. I used to have, it was like volumes 1 through 5, volumes 1 through 6 of Like a Butterfly. It was so cute. It was so precious, but I had to cut something from my budget, and unfortunately that one I let go, but I definitely have kept both of these series because Shortcake Cake I have reread at least 3 times, and I've said it before, I still don't have a video review on this channel because the last one I filmed, it was full of spoilers and I did not like that period, and I was like, oh, I'm not going to say who my bias is, but I'm like, you could tell by my excitement who my bias was in this series. And Sign of Affection, I love this series so very much. I've reread each volume, I think except for, I think we're on volume 9, volume 8, but the volume before that I have only read once, but all the other volumes I've at least read twice. Some of these earlier volumes I've read like 3 or 4 times. Sumo Ishida has just a beautiful, fantastic way of storytelling. They are genius and I love their work. I really feel like A Sign of Affection has something that is very refreshing for the Shoujo manga. I mean, maybe it doesn't have a lot of new things, but I really loved in this latest volume when I talked about my reading wrap-up video last week, I believe, that I just deeply enjoy how we're having things we don't typically see, like apartment hunting, meeting the parents, and it being a very big deal. And the amount of respect that Itsuomi has for Yuki. There's just so many beautiful and heartfelt things about A Sign of Affection that I deeply, deeply love. And when it comes to Shortcake Cake, I just love this series. It is so emotional. It starts off like a fluffy, lighthearted romance, high school romance, and then as it goes on, there's so much heart that's packed into this and so much emotion that I cry every single time that I read it. It is another beautiful and heartfelt series, and I honestly feel like if I could just sum up Sumo Ishida's work, it would be beautiful and heartfelt, because no matter which series I've read, including Like a Butterfly, the characters are stunning and the story is amazing and that's extremely, extremely sweet. And I do feel like the characters are giving their all and doing their best, and they're slow growing, but they're wonderful. They're wonderful. I love Sumo Ishida. I do feel like they are a creator or 2 creators, since they are 2 in 1 under one name, I should say. I really feel like anytime we get a new series from them, I don't even need to know what the series is about. I am automatically going to buy it because I have just loved everything that they've written. For number 2, I have a little bit mixed feelings. I'll say why in just a second, but that is Yoko no Giri. I have all of her works in English, including Those Not So Sweet Boys, That Wolf Boy Is Mine, and Love and Focus. That Wolf Boy Is Mine was like my first introduction to her work. My husband influenced me to pick this up. He's like, that looks right up your alley. He was 100% right. It's my favorite work by Yoko no Giri. I have read this series 3 or 4 times. I just find it really special and very charming and very lovely. I love the hair heroines in Yoko no Giri's work. I find them very inspiring and very admirable. When I think of this is the kind of shoujo manga I want when it comes to a heroine that inspires, this series or her work is one I would automatically point to. But the reason I said mixed feelings is because I feel like before I saw or know what her newest series is about that's ongoing in Japan, she was one that I'm like, I don't need to know what your work's about. It's an automatic name drop and I'm pre-ordering. But I feel like the direction of the series that she's working on, I'm like, girl, I can't follow you there. So I'm just going to appreciate the works that we do have in English. I did really enjoy those Not So Sweet Boys as well. This was a series that one of the very few in a really long time. Well, I did read Nicola Traveling Around the Demon's World. I read that in one day last month. But before that, this was the last series I read an entire day, and it's 7 volumes. I so very enjoyed this. I loved all the guys. I loved the friendships that were forming, and how honestly when there's like drama that happens in these series, it doesn't feel like yes, it's drama, but I don't know, I feel like it's different. Like it's still pushing the plot forward and you're getting to know all the characters more. And I don't know, I feel like it's still lighthearted at the end of the day, and it's not overwhelming and like too angsty, too dramatic, but it still gives the drama. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but I feel like it's still, her drama is very lighthearted, and that's a reason I really enjoy her works, including Love and Focus. So this is my least favorite by her. I have read this series twice, and it's just, I don't love it as much as I love these two. That's all it is. It's still really good, but it's just not a favorite in comparison to the other two. But her series, if you're looking for high school romance that, yes, usually typically does have a love triangle that has beautiful friendships between all of the guys and just all of the characters, then her series is one that I'm going to recommend. I do feel like when I was first getting into manga and I was trying to find what I was calling clean manga recommendations, especially for Christians who felt like they couldn't read manga, her work was something I was always recommending because there's nothing ever inappropriate in her series, to be determined with her ongoing one. But with these, there's nothing inappropriate, and they're just very, very sweet and very wholesome, and I've really enjoyed all of these series so much. So I was excited to see that I have at least 3 series by her and would recommend these very much. They're beautiful and I really, really enjoyed them. For number 3, technically with this one, I went with the creator, aka like the writer of these, because she has worked with other creators, well, other artists, excuse me, to bring her series to life, and that is Kazune Kawahara. She has written, I think, what is her most popular work, High School Debut, which I love, My Love Story, which is another one of her very popular works, and then The Secret of Friendship. She is definitely a name drop creator. That is exactly what happened with The Secret of Friendship. As soon as I found out it was the same writer as High School Debut, My Love Story, I was like, boom, I'm done, I'm sold. I don't even think I even read the blurb before I bought it, honestly. And that's just something I don't do. Because money, you know, I've got to make sure that I'm buying things I'm interested in and excited about and think I will love. I thought all of those things, but typically I'm like, let me read the blurb first, so I definitely know if I am interested in this and I'm not just doing a name drop. But she is an exception. She is an exception. I am very excited that we are getting more of her work from Shoujo. It comes out sometime next year. I will definitely be pre-ordering that because, again, she's just a name drop creator for me, and I've deeply loved all of her work. I have not read My Love Story twice, but I have read a lot. I mean, I've read High School Debut once at least, but I have reread other parts just randomly in the series because I love Haruna and Yo, and Secret of Friendship I've reread like 2 or 3 times. Like, this is like, I feel like the OG manga here of if you need a shoujo story that is centered around girl friendship, this standalone is it. I have a review, please go check it out, because I feel like this standalone, excuse me, is just so underrated, but it's so incredibly beautiful. Her work is always so much fun. I feel like The Secret of Friendship wasn't as funny as My Love Story and High School Debut, but there's definitely a lot of heart, and I always know that I'll have a really good time when I'm reading her series, and that's why I deeply love her work and was excited that we're getting more. I hope this media continues to give us more. Like, please follow that old behavior here of like, if we've licensed, you know, 2 works by a creator, then we'll just continue to keep licensing them all in English. Like, please do. I'm all for it. It doesn't bother me at all. It doesn't hurt my feelings at all, this media. So though interestingly enough, 7C's got this one, but her work is so much fun, and I would highly recommend all of these. High School Debut is still, I think, my favorite out of all of these. The message of The Secret of Friendship is my favorite out of all 3 of these, but I just really love Haruna and Yo so much. And my husband loves My Love Story. He's read it twice. No, he watched the anime twice, and then he read the manga before me. So it is definitely a fan favorite in our house, I guess you would say, of how much we enjoy her work. Though I don't think he would like High School Debut, even though I don't think he would like Yo's sister. I think Yo's sister would honestly honestly be a deal breaker for him. I'm thankful she was not for me because I definitely didn't love her actions, but I'm like, I love Haruno and Yona so much more than her, so it's okay. But I love her work very, very much. She will be continue to be one of my most owned authors when we get her new series coming out. Very excited to try that one because I actually don't know much about that, but I guess a theme for all of these manga is that if I just know who the creator is, I'll probably be pre-ordering it just because I have loved their other series or their other works. For number 4, I'm sure nobody's gonna be surprised when I say Io Sakisaka. I'm sure nobody is surprised. I technically only have 3 of her works now. I did or was collecting Sakura Saku, but I just didn't fully connect with it, and so I decided to hand it off to a friend who I think is loving it 10 times more than me. But I do have Aruharu Ride, Love Me Love Me Not, and Strobe Edge, and Strobe Edge was my very first Io Sakisaka work by her. Then I read Aruharu Ride, and I just don't understand the dislike for this series that's in the community overall. Like, I don't know, I love this series. It was very angsty, but it was very beautiful, and I feel like our heroine here was just super relatable. And Love Me Not, though, I think ultimately is my favorite series by her. I really need to reread Strobe Edge to see if that's 100% true, but Love Me Not, Yuna right here is one of the characters that I have most related to in manga. I did talk about that in a separate Top 5 Wednesday video. I was so impacted. I cried a bunch when I read this, but I really, really enjoyed it in Strobe Edge. Been a while since I've actually read this series, but I really love Io Sakisaka's themes of these heroines that they're asking these questions of what is love? How do I know that this is love? I mean, I feel like each of these girls, like Love Me Not was special because 2 different girls had 2 very different views on love, but neither one of them were wrong, and I really love seeing that theme explored in that manga. And Aruharu Ride, I feel like maybe is like, can you still love someone even though they've changed from the person you knew when you were in love with them the first time? Hopefully I worded that right, because they were like sort of childhood friends and our main girl really loved him. I am blanking on all these characters' names. Futaba, okay, and then Kyo. So Futaba really loved Kyo when she was younger, then they were separated, and then they came back, and he is not the same guy he was. And so it's sort of her like loving this new person. I mean, it's still Kyo, but she's loving this new part of him that she may have not known when she was younger. And Sakura Saku, I think, had a really great message, even though I know I dropped it, and no, I did not hate it. Let me just say that now. I didn't get rid of it because I hated it. I just didn't connect with it. I just want to say that because it really upset me personally. People are like, why didn't you like it? It's still really good. I'm like, I'm not saying it ain't good, okay? I'm not saying it ain't good. I'm just saying I did not connect with it the same way that I did these, and I felt more comfortable just handing it off to somebody. I don't think she's a horrible creator. I was sort of triggered. I'm sorry, but I was like, man, I still love her work. I still think she is one of the best shoujo manga creators out there. Maybe that's an unpopular opinion, but I feel like it's really true. And so I love just in that manga specifically of how that heroine is also asking, what is love? How does she know what she's feeling for this young man is love, and her exploring that. Io Sakisaka really does an amazing job. I feel like she's one of the queen of shoujo, rightfully so. And she, even if I didn't connect with Sakura Saku, I'm still going to be pre-ordering when we get her other series in English, because surely we will be getting her newest series. I have seen pages of it thanks to a friend, and I loved what I saw. So I still love Io Sakisaka, and I told myself, and that was actually something I had to come to terms with Sumo Morishita. I don't feel like I should feel that I am less of a fan of a creator because I don't have all of their works. Like, what am I trying to prove? Who am I trying to prove to? I don't need to prove anything. The only person at the end of the day that it matters is me, unless somebody's gonna buy me this series and make me seem like I'm a better fan. So anyway, sorry, that was a minor bunny trail. I was thinking about this when I was driving yesterday doing errands, and I was like, you know, I just need people to know. I just need people to know. So I still love Io Sakisaka's work. I am not done or finished with her. She's still one of those creators. If I know we're getting her work in English, I'm gonna try it out. I want to take in all that she has because I really just love her storytelling, and I was sad that I did not fully connect with Sakura Saku because I loved volume 1, amazing story, but I just couldn't get into volume 2, and I said it's time to let this go, unfortunately. But with these, I deeply love them, especially Love Me Not. Thank you for listening to my rant, by the way, and Strobe Edge, which hopefully I still need volume 6. I think I'm missing like 3-4 volumes of this series, and I really need to reread it. I hope Viz Media is going to be like, you know what, we do need a reprint because I'm sure Io Sakisaka is one of your best-selling works, you know? know? Like, why would you not have all of her series in stock? But anyway, that was sort of a rant, but I really do love Io Sakisaka's work, and I'm excited and hopeful that we will get her newest series in English at one point. The art is beautiful, breathtaking, very excited to see what the themes will be in that manga alone. And for number 5, maybe I should not have done this one because probably, anyway, let me say what it is and I'll say why, but that is Kyoyusuke Motomi, I think that's how I say her name, and she is the creator of Denkin Daisy, Queen's Quality, and QQ Sweeper, and Beastmaster. And that's why I was sort of like, maybe I should have did her as number 4, because technically QQ Sweeper and Queen's Quality are one series, but since they are split up and promoted differently in the US, I just did them as 4. So I have 4 different series by her. I still have not read Denkin Daisy. Denkin Daisy was one that I just picked up because I love Beastmaster so much. I need to reread it. I've reread it at least 3 or 4 times. It's so fun. Leo is a best boy. He is very incredible, and I need to reread it. It's been at least a year, but I decided to get Denkin Daisy because I have loved QQ Sweeper and Queen's Quality. It has been such a powerful and impactful read. Volume 19 was one of my favorite reads of last month, or it was my favorite read of last month. The heart that's in this series and how it has consistently encouraged me in such a deeper way where fiction really becomes larger than life, so to speak. It has helped me to deal with things in my life with different struggles that I've had, and I'm deeply thankful for Fumi and that we have this series in English. I'm glad that QQ Sweeper Volume 1 got reprinted, or at least restocked, because it was the only volume I was missing in the series, and I was like, I refuse to pay big money for this. Denkin Daisy, I really don't know when or if I'll read this series. I just wanted to get it because I got it for under $5. I will take it just so I can have another one of her works in English, because I think this is all that we have of her. Should she ever like publish something else though, like after Queen's Quality ends, because I know it is ending, I will get it, like especially if it gets in English, because I have just really enjoyed her storytelling. I believe Denkin Daisy is much different than Queen's Quality, but still, I would still love to try it. And just really, I really love her works as well, and her way of storytelling. I mean, with Queen's Quality, there's so much action, and just the romance is so wonderfully written. And in Beastmaster, it was written really well too. And I believe that there was some good action in this one too. I know something happens in volume 2 that was like pretty intense, and Leo definitely has these moments, and he looks so cool. He looks so cool. He definitely has these moments of intensity where he seems a little bit scary, but he's just so sweet. Yeah, I'm definitely due for a reread on that one. So I sort of feel like I should have done this for number 4. It feels a little bit anticlimactic after ranting about stuff with Io Sakisaka and then coming into this one and saying I haven't even read one of her works yet, but she is one of the most owned authors I have on my shelf. Again, I feel like all of these picks, they're ones that are name drops at the end of the day, that's why I have so much of their series on my shelf, because I love them, or I love their works. I love the way that they write, their art style. All of it is just really amazing. But I would love to hear from you, friends. What are some of the most owned authors or creators on your shelf? Let me know down below. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. Bye!